What if I told you that the reason you have not yet experienced the abundance you desire has nothing to do with the economy, your education, your age, or your circumstances, and everything to do with the wiring inside your brain? I am not speaking metaphorically. I am talking about actual physical structures, neural pathways that were built inside your mind years ago, many of them before you were even 7 years old. And right now, those pathways are running your life like an old operating system that was never updated. But here is the extraordinary news. Modern neuroscience has proven that your brain can change. It can rewire itself. It can build entirely new pathways that support abundance, prosperity, and a life that reflects who you truly are. My name is Dr. Harold Davis. I am a holistic life and health coach, a researcher, and the author of Realizing Your Highest Health and Prosperity Potential. And today, I am going to show you exactly how neuroplasticity, the brain's remarkable ability to rewire itself, can transform your relationship with abundance forever. Let us start with the science. For decades, scientists believed that the adult brain was fixed, that after a certain age, you were stuck with the brain you had. Your neural pathways were set in stone. Your habits, your beliefs, your patterns of thinking, all permanent. That belief has been completely overturned. Neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life. Every single thought you think, every emotion you feel, every action you take either strengthens an existing neural pathway or begins building a new one. Here is what that means for you. If you have spent years thinking thoughts of scarcity, thoughts like, there is never enough, money is hard to come by, people like me do not get ahead, those thoughts have literally carved grooves into your brain. They have become your default programming. But, and this is the key, those grooves are not permanent. You can carve new ones. In my book, Realizing Your Highest Health and Prosperity Potential, I write about what I call the creative factor. You are not a passive observer of your life. You are the creative factor, the one who speaks your life into existence by the power of your words, thoughts, feelings, and actions. And neuroplasticity is the scientific mechanism that makes this possible. Now, to rewire your brain for abundance, you first need to understand how the old wiring got there in the first place. Dr. Bruce Lipton's groundbreaking work in epigenetics has shown us something remarkable. During the first 7 years of life, your brain operates primarily in theta brainwave frequency. Theta is essentially a hypnotic state, a state of deep programmability. Everything you heard, everything you witnessed, everything you experienced during those years went straight into your subconscious mind without any critical filter. Your parents argued about money, your subconscious recorded it. If you heard phrases like, "We cannot afford that," or "money does not grow on trees," those became neural pathways. If you grew up in an environment where scarcity was the dominant emotional tone, your brain built an entire operating system around scarcity. And here's the part that most people miss. Research tells us that approximately 95% of your daily behavior is driven by your subconscious mind. That means only 5% of what you do each day is the result of conscious choice. The rest is autopilot, running on programs that were installed decades ago. So when you set a conscious intention for abundance, when you say, "I want to be prosperous," but your subconscious is running a program that says prosperity is not for people like you, which one do you think wins? The subconscious wins every single time. until you change the program. There is a structure in your brainstem called the reticular activating system, the RAS. Think of it as your brain's search engine. Out of the millions of pieces of information your senses take in every second, the RAS decides what gets through to your conscious awareness and what gets filtered out. Here's the critical point. The RAS does not filter based on what is true. It filters based on what you believe. If your neural pathways are wired for scarcity, your RAS will show you evidence of scarcity everywhere you look. You will notice the bills, the setbacks, the limitations. But if you rewire those pathways for abundance, your RAS begins to show you opportunities, connections, and possibilities that were always there. You simply could not see them before. This is not wishful thinking. This is neuroscience. When you change the instructions you give your brain changes what it shows you. And when your brain shows you a different world, you begin to live in a different world. Now let me give you 5 practical science-backed exercises you can begin using today to rewire your brain for abundance. These are techniques I teach in my coaching practice and in my book, and they are grounded in the latest neuroscience research. Exercise 1, abundance visualization with emotional encoding. Your brain cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. When you visualize yourself living in abundance and you combine that visualization with genuine emotion, your brain begins building the same neural pathways it would build if the experience were actually happening. Here is the practice. Each morning, before you check your phone, close your eyes for 5 minutes. See yourself in a state of complete abundance. Feel the gratitude, feel the freedom, feel the joy. Do not just think it, feel it in your body. This combination of mental imagery and emotional encoding is what creates lasting neural change. Exercise 2, the gratitude rewire. Gratitude is not just a nice sentiment, it is a neurological tool. When you practice gratitude consistently, you are literally retraining your reticular activating system to scan for abundance instead of scarcity. Every evening, write down 3 specific things you experienced that day that represent abundance. They do not have to be financial. A meaningful conversation, a beautiful sunset, a moment of laughter. Abundance takes many forms. The key is consistency. Do this for 30 days and you will begin to notice your brain automatically searching for things to be grateful for throughout the day. That is neuroplasticity in action. Exercise 3, heart-brain coherence. Meditation research from the Heart Math Institute has demonstrated that when your heart and brain are in coherence, when they are synchronized, you enter an optimal state for rewiring your neural pathways. In this state, your brain becomes more receptive to new programming. The practice is simple. Place your hand over your heart, breathe slowly and deeply. As you breathe, generate a feeling of appreciation or love. Hold that feeling for at least 2 minutes. In this coherent state, speak your abundance intentions aloud. Your brain is now in its most receptive state for building new pathways. Exercise 4, identity level affirmations. Most affirmations fail because they operate at the surface level. Saying "I am rich" when your subconscious believes you are not creates internal conflict. Instead, use identity level affirmations that rewire who you believe yourself to be. Try these. I am the creative factor of my reality. Abundance flows to me because I am aligned with the energy of prosperity. I am worthy of every good thing that comes into my life. Say these with conviction and emotion, ideally during your morning coherence practice. Over time, these statements will overwrite the old scarcity programs. Exercise 5. The pattern interrupt. Every time you catch yourself thinking a scarcity thought, I cannot afford that, there is not enough, this will never work. Interrupt the pattern immediately. Say cancel or delete out loud. Then consciously replace that thought with its abundance counterpart. This is not about denial. This is about exercising your neuroplastic power. Every time you interrupt a scarcity thought and replace it with an abundance thought, you weaken the old pathway and strengthen the new one. Over time, the abundance thought becomes your default. That is how rewiring works. Now, I want to take this one level deeper because neuroplasticity does not operate in isolation. It is connected to something far greater. In quantum physics, we learn that the observer affects the observed. Your consciousness, your focused attention and intention literally influences the quantum field of possibilities around you. When you combine neuroplasticity with the principles of quantum biology and epigenetics, you are not just changing your brain. You are changing the very signals your genes receive. You are changing the instructions your cells follow. You are changing the field of reality you interact with. This is what I mean when I say you are the creative factor. You are not just rewiring your brain for abundance. You are rewiring your entire relationship with reality itself. I want to leave you with this. Your brain is not your destiny, it is your instrument. And like any instrument, it can be tuned, it can be restrung, it can be taught to play an entirely new song. The abundance you seek is not somewhere out there waiting for you to find it. It is already within you, waiting for you to build the neural pathways that allow you to experience it. Start today. 5 minutes of visualization, 3 gratitudes every evening, 1 pattern interrupt every time a scarcity thought arises. These small, consistent actions will begin to rewire your brain, and when your brain changes, your world changes. If you want to go deeper into this work, I invite you to read my book, Realizing Your Highest Health and Prosperity Potential, where I explore the full science of conscious creation, from quantum biology to epigenetics to the 5 pillars of transformation. You can also visit my website at movingthestars.com and take the free longevity readiness assessment to discover exactly where you stand on your journey. If this message resonated with you, please subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Because when we rewire ourselves for abundance, we do not just change our own lives, we change the lives of everyone around us. Remember, we speak our lives into existence by the power of our words, thoughts, feelings, and actions. Start speaking abundance today. I am Dr. Harold Davis. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.